Hey, fellow tarot community and mystical people. I have an open question. I'm gonna start with the multi-layered question and then give some backstory and then revisit the question at the end of the video. So my question, my inquiry for right now is how do we work with messages, specifically messages from the subconscious? Do you believe that dreams and or synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, are messages from the subconscious that need attention? A little bit of backstory without going too much into it. Last night, something small happened. I won't say what it is, but it was something very small that shouldn't have bothered me, but it did. I ended up having like a full body wince, like a about this very small thing. And so it triggered me into quite a lot of frustration that actually permeated into my sleeping. So much so that my entire night of sleeping last night was a Freudian shitstorm of racing memories. And when I say memories, I mean like maybe five or so huge um, life events that really fucked me up. But it was just an onslaught of images and moments from all the way from 8 years ago to the recent year, of moments that were just very vulnerable and wounding, but it was so crazy that there were so many of them so fast throughout my dreams last night. And I've had this happen before, but nothing quite to this extent. So I woke up. I moved through my day with this in mind, and it kind of messed with my whole day. You know, I feel silly that dreams could just do that to you, but that is what led to this question of do I should I dissect these dreams and images and work with them in a way, or do I just accept them and move on with a positive will? Okay, so this reminds me of if you've ever played Zelda, classic game Zelda, especially like Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time, the main character has this little fairy that travels with him called Navi. And every now and then, Navi, you'll hear like a sound. You just hear her say, "Listen, listen." And it's just like it's the most classic annoying thing in any video game because you have this damn fairy who follows you around and every 10 seconds you hear, "Listen, listen, listen." And so you have the choice of pressing A or whatever to listen to what she has to say, and she usually has to say something helpful about what you need to do next in the game or advice, but no one ever listens, right? Like, who listens to Navi? It's the most annoying thing ever. So I'm thinking about that as like a metaphor for the subconscious or the unknown or what we're trying to tell ourselves, but we're not listening consciously. What is the balance of working with these messages or these psychological undercurrents or these automatic tendencies in which we feel stuff, whether that has to do with synchronicity, like noticing something more so, or like a repeating pattern of life or a repeating image that you become more sensitive to, or in terms of dreams, like how much do we listen to our dreams? How much do we work with them? How much do we deal with them? Because on the one hand, it's like, I feel like the new agey answer is like, yes, listen to the messages, yes, yeah. But is that dwelling? And when does it become dwelling? On the other side, I work a lot with like hermetic thought, which is a lot about the will, and I'm a firm believer in mentalism, which is talked about in like the Kabbalion and a lot of other hermetic literature, which is the idea that everything starts in the mind and manifests externally. Okay. But my option two would be to, accept that I had this experience and then will myself into whatever the hell I want next, regardless of what these messages are, Because I don't want to dwell on the past and I don't want to dwell on these things. I want to create my own reality. And I believe that we're always curating our own reality with our focus, with our intellectual faculty, with our imagination, with our will. So I'm just speculating on how do you balance your own volition and how you create your own personal world versus how much you open yourself to these messages and apply them. So the tarot card that I find that really, really expresses this dilemma so beautifully is Temperance. Now, Temperance is to me the first major healing card, but also it's obviously very alchemical and has to do with synthesizing two or more entities together, remixing and rebalancing and coming together. It follows the Death card, and so after that putrefaction and after that letting go, it's the regroup of the more pure substance that remains. So it's a reintegration of sorts. Now, what really gets me about this card is the pathway of this card on the Tree of Life goes from Yesod, which is the moon, to the sun, to Tiferet, which is the sun. Now, the moon in Yesod is all about the subconscious, and it leads from there into Tiferet, which is the sun, which is all about consciousness, pure consciousness, like the good part of the ego. So I'll show you in something that expresses that more. This is from the Tarot of the Spirit. So we go from Yesod, which is subconscious, to Tiferet, which is consciousness. So in this card, I feel like it's talking about the balancing and reconciliation of the conscious and the subconscious. It's that constant balancing act, right? Not only that, but it's an angel, so we could feel like angelic messages, support, guidance. And even further, the Hebrew letter associated with it is Samek, which means tent peg or post or something that supports you. Okay, so it's very much a card about synthesis, balance. It's on the middle pillar of the tree. So maybe I just need some time meditating with this image, but I mean that's my question is what is, I guess for you personally, the balance between our subconscious automatic workings with our conscious will and decision, and how can we reconcile the two truthfully and honestly to do our work, whatever that may be, or rather, find clarity in the circumstance, find truth. So that's my question. Thank you.